Hi folks, welcome to the 37th and the last presentation for this summer, resuming in October. Please check the CARP travel website for details. Tonight's presentation is being hosted by Almon of AlmonTravel, CARP, and for tonight, SITA Tours. As in the past, this presentation is being recorded and will be on the CARP travel website shortly after. So a bit about ourselves, as we do at the beginning of every presentation. We've been in business since 2003, so a little over 18 years. We have a number of specialties, although we are capable of booking most trips for people. One of our focuses is on destination weddings. We've done 130 destination weddings in the Caribbean area. And as a result of that, we have gotten to know many of the areas in the Caribbean where people vacation. And we can advise people on destination weddings as well as their vacation trips down south. We also can do, for this demographic, particularly the CARP demographic, we can do anniversary gatherings, so extended family and group travel to celebrate anniversaries. We have lots of experience with groups with that. And Caribbean area vacations by themselves, again, because of our destination wedding experience. Whenever we go to a Caribbean location, we make a point of dropping in and visiting anywhere from 5 to 8 resorts to get a look at what they are like, so that we can recommend them for our clients for weddings or just for vacations. Extended Florida trips. We are theme park specialists in Florida, so if you're interested in a trip to Disney World or Universal Studios or Busch Gardens or SeaWorld, we have lots of experience with that and can help you as well. River cruises is one of our particular specialties. We've done 10 different itineraries around the world, 2 in Vietnam, the Red River and the Mekong, the Yangtze in China. We've done the Nile in Egypt. We've done the Mississippi in the United States, which was really neat on a sternwheeler. And we've done a number of cruises in Europe as well. So lots of experience there, can help you with that. Ocean cruises, we've done our best to try to take the popular itineraries, Hawaii, Alaska, the Mediterranean, the 3 different Caribbean destinations. We did a UK cruise, which was really quite neat too. So again, lots of experience in that area and can help you with that. Coach touring, another popular way of travel. We work with all of the large coach companies and some small ones as well to do some very interesting and exotic trips. So on to travel conditions. Well, today in Nova Scotia, 1 new case of COVID amongst 1 million people. We are very happy about that. We spiked, unfortunately, back a month ago, and we're up for us into large numbers, but over the last several weeks, we've dropped that down. I think a large part of that, besides being cautious here in Nova Scotia, we have, I think, 90% of Nova Scotia with their first vaccination, which is great, and a significant percentage with their second vaccinations. I myself got mine second vaccination last week. So that's going to be what I think is going to open travel for us internationally. And certainly it's happening in the United States right now. I'm looking as a Canadian travel agent at bookings with different companies, and Canadians are being cautious and hesitant, but Americans are booking away. So might make some problems for us Canadians when people start getting ready for this. So travel conditions ongoing. We just have to check things out week by week. We are CARP, Nova Scotia's official travel agency, having been invited by Bill Van Gorder, who is the COO and Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as the founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia, in addition to being the senior spokesperson for CARP in the Maritimes. Bill and I got to know each other quite well in a charitable foundation that he and another gentleman founded called 100 Men Who Give a Damn. And over 4 years, we raised over $400,000, all of which went to the charitable institutions. So I got to know Bill quite well, both of us being on the board of that. He got me to book a couple of trips for him, a river cruise and a Rocky Mountaineer train ride. And he was quite happy with the service we provided, and as a result asked us if we would work on behalf of CARP. And of course, we were quite happy about that. So I'd like to introduce Alena Maloney, who is the BDM east. I'm not sure what east, Eastern North America or Eastern Canada.
Exactly.
Okay. And Mary Barnett, who is concierge sales for SITA Tours, a touring company that has been in business for over 80 years and has been operating a solo women's only travel organization for the past 8 years. These ladies will tell us a bit about SITA Tours and the kind of travel that they focus on. And we'll be looking specifically at ancient Greece, myths and legends, and a trip to ancient Egypt, both places my wife and I have visited with great enjoyment. So I'll turn it over to Alena and Mary.
Thank you. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about who is or about SITA World Tours. SITA was established in 1933. We are celebrating over 88 years of excellence. We offer you, the travel consumer, destinations worldwide. We go to over 90 of the world's most exciting countries. Our well planned tours focus on a destination's culture, history, and offer authentic local experiences. And they're really offered at a great value to you. During those 88 years, we have won many awards and accolades for our tours worldwide. Our unsung heroes of our company really are our consultants or our travel specialists. Our senior specialists average over 20 years experience selling and putting together the perfect vacations for you with hands-on knowledge of that specific destination. I like this next little one. It sounds like we're a little stalkerish, but CETA's consultants track and touch base with you while you're traveling. What that means is that we will put a phone call in and check on, make sure you're having a good time so that if you have any questions or if you need anything, we are there available to you. And with your documents, you get a number of phone contact details so you can call any of us 24/7 while you're traveling with any questions. In fact, you will have the consultant's cell phone number on their documents. So if you do have a question, you have someone to reach out to. And CETA is a proud ACTA member. And ACTA is the Association of Canadian Travel Agents. We offer unlimited options. We can offer popular destinations worldwide as well as some of those off the beaten path adventures. We can do experiential, cultural, or adventure tours. Experiential can be doing a cooking class or maybe having a yoga class in India with a yogi. Things like that would be considered experiential. We offer first class, deluxe, and luxury accommodations on a number of our different programs. Our tours that are labeled as independent tours, they are guaranteed to depart with only two passengers. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you're doing the larger motor coach tours, they're not going to guarantee it unless they have X amount of passengers booked on that departure date. And if you're trying to think ahead and book ahead 8 months, 10 months ahead, and you go ahead and get airfare, and then you find out, oh, that departure can't go and they're putting me on a different date, you don't have to worry about that. On our independent tours, they are guaranteed. We do offer motor coach tours and small group touring, but our real strength and forte is our ability to do tailor made, private, customized vacations for you. So if you have that bucket list trip in your mind or that dream vacation you're thinking of, we will work with you and Danny to build that perfect vacation for you. Our programs, we can offer either air inclusive, where we'll do the airfare for you, or we can give it to you as a land only option. So this way, if you do have maybe mileage points that you want to use for the airfare, you can go ahead and do that. And we have a number of short stay, city stay programs already organized. And these are usually 3 and 4 nights in that specific city around the world. And these are great as pre and post cruise options or extensions to other programs. So just keep that in mind. We can mix and match a lot of our programs together. So, what destinations do we have? One thing to remember, our tagline is SITA is your gateway to exotic destinations worldwide. And that is true. We offer in Africa and the Middle East, we offer safaris in East Africa like Kenya and Tanzania, in Southern Africa like South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia, gorilla trekking in Rwanda, Uganda, cultural tours in Ghana, Ethiopia, Morocco, Egypt. We do Israel and Jordan. We go over to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. In Europe, pretty much we can do scheduled tours and those private customized programs in all European countries. We can put together multi-city, multi-country itineraries. Some of the well-known countries like Italy, France, the UK, absolutely we offer that. But we also offer Russia, all the Scandinavian countries, the Baltics, Croatia, all the rest of the Balkan areas. In Asia, we can offer the ancient city as well as the modern cities. We can do historical or cultural tours, relaxing beach vacations, say Phuket or the Philippines, and pretty much everywhere: Thailand, Vietnam, China, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Philippines, Mongolia, and so much more. In India, we can offer the UNESCO World Heritage sites like Taj Mahal. We can go off the beaten track to unique national parks. Go down there for the festivals like their annual Diwali festival. Culinary tours. You can add on extensions to Nepal or Bhutan. In South and Central America, we offer almost all the countries down there experiential itineraries, colonial history itineraries. In Ecuador, we do both the land as well as a cruise through its Galapagos Islands. We do Machu Picchu in Peru, Amazon Adventure, where you stay at resorts, jungle resorts. Argentina, Peru, Brazil, Chile, Patagonia, Colombia, Costa Rica, Belize, all of that. And then, of course, we do Australia and New Zealand in the South Pacific. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Mary Barnett, and she's going to go into detail on our women's travel program.
Thank you, Alena, and thank you, Danny. As Danny mentioned, we've had a women's travel program for the last 8 years. This is in Namibia, one of our groups a couple of years ago. We custom design our itineraries. We try to include unusual travel experiences. We consider the pace. We have unique dining experiences. Our guides will answer honest questions. We pick our guides. We are often asked the question if our guides are always women. They are not. We get the best guide in the country we are visiting, and sometimes it's male. But we do vet them before they go, and we also give them a briefing, and as was mentioned before, we check in almost daily with while you're on the tour. And we use 4-star or more, 4 or 5-star hotels. Alena?
Mm-hmm.
We have small groups, 6 to 15. We will try to arrange room shares, and we put you together by phone before you commit to room together. Most of the women on in our groups are traveling solo for one reason or another. Their husbands don't like to travel. They're a professional woman whose friends don't have vacation time when they do, and half of the group will never have even met before. So we discuss the destination with you, send a reading list, a packing list. We find that women want to know a full budget up front, so we have very few options in our itineraries. And we plan so there's a welcome dinner to meet with the guide and a briefing on your first night. And so you get a chance to meet all the other people you're traveling with. And our most frequently asked question, how old are the women in the group? Well, it's quite a range. Right now, I'm looking at the range. Usually it's mid-50s into the 80s. I'm looking now at people in their 30s for a Greek trip up to the age of 90. So and a very fit 90, I might add. So for 2021, we have a few tours left. The first one is the USA National Parks. We have 3 spaces left on that. Argentina is open. Greece is selling, that we posted only about 6 weeks ago, and it's almost sold out. We have a Santorini post tour, and then Egypt is already booking, and that is really a fantastic destination. We'll talk about that more as we get to that tour. So the national parks in the Southwest leads in October. Alena, okay, it will go into Phoenix first, and then through Sedona, the Grand Canyon with an overnight on the rim. And then this is really designed for the people who are not looking to go in and hike and camp. You're going in to see the beauty of these national parks, and you'll get a chance to visit Marble Canyon, Bryce and Zion in Utah, Arches National Park, the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Mesa Verde, which has those Pueblo cliff dwellings that date back amazingly to the 12th and to the 14th century. And then up to Taos, New Mexico, and finally the artistic city of Santa Fe. Now I think we have a few pictures. No, we have Argentina next. Well, Argentina, of course, we will go to Iguazu Falls, we go to Rio, and we do include a tango show. We also go down to Bariloche in the southern portion of the country, and it's a gorgeous region. We stay right on the border of the lake with a view of the lake, some excellent food, and it will be a nice temperature at that time of the year. And here is the current tour, Ancient Greece with its myths and legends. And there is the Acropolis with the Parthenon, one of the most exciting sights, I think, since we read about that from the time we were in grammar school. We've chosen a hotel that will give you a view in the evening of the Parthenon, which is lit. And that was one of my favorite experiences. I just found that so thrilling to sit with a glass of wine and look out at the Acropolis up above. Athens is the very heart of Greece. It's known as the birthplace of democracy. Some of the most significant philosophers come, of course, from Greece, Socrates. And we will visit Athens, and we will also, while in Athens, and of course, we see all of the must-see sites, but we also always like to include something that's more local, that is a more local experience. And so we have, after we visit the Parthenon, and we don't expect there to be crowds this November, but we do expect nice temperatures. It'll be in the mid-60s Fahrenheit. Danny, you'll have to help me if we go to centigrade.
It's not going to happen. I've stayed Fahrenheit rates since Celsius has come through.
That's my problem. It'd be in the mid-60s, and this is the Karamakos Farmers Market. Actually, in Athens, every neighborhood holds one day of the week they have a farmers market. This particular one is in a foodie area, so that there's other things such as farmers have brought in feta cheese and their olives, and we're going to have a lunch in this area before we head off to Plaka. And this really gives you that village feeling. As you can see, it's very picturesque. It's a typical walking area, and you'll have time to soak in the atmosphere. Then it's off to Delphi. And this is, of course, where the oracle gave pronouncements. We have several wonderful meals planned on this tour. And we will go to Olympia, have lunch in the countryside. And then we return to Athens and have a night out at a local restaurant where local people eat, and there's Greek music and dancing. And I think that would be the highlight for me. Although we do end the trip with a day cruise out to some of the islands of Porus and Hydra before you say farewell. Or, as most of the group is doing, you go on to Santorini. And this is a very short flight away, 45-minute flight. We have 3 nights. We've included a half-day tour with lunch and a day that's free. So I hope you decide to come with us. I hope you leave Canada and join. We've often had guests from Canada with us, and would love to see some of you come along as well. And the remaining tour for this year, Ancient Egypt. And this is, again, a delightful time to go. The temperatures are good. It is best if you're fully vaccinated. That would be, of course, following your Canadian guidelines on all travel. We'll stay at the Mina House, which is a historic house with a view of the pyramids. And our Nile cruise is on the Tulip, which is very nice. What I want to emphasize are the 2 new museums. The GEM, that stands for Grand Egyptian Museum. It's been in the process of being built for 20 years, and it is just extraordinary. They have moved in some of the best treasures from the old Egyptian museum, like the gold face mask of Tutankhamun, the 2-story high Ramses II statue that comes from nearby Memphis. And this is something that is a world-class museum. It will be, I am sure, inundated with tourists as soon as people start to really travel again. And then there is the new History of Egyptian Civilization Museum And the mummies from the old museum were all moved here in a grand parade in May or April. We add in again some authentic experiences here. We meet with local women. We go to the spice markets, and the highlight that our group has found was lunch with an Egyptian family and just talking. Our guide is Nadine, and she is priceless. She's on WhatsApp with me every day or twice a day, letting me know how the group goes and just what is happening. We do offer an Alexandria extension. In all our trips, we have extensions. Now, we're not going to go into as much detail. I do want you to see some pictures. We do have an optional balloon ride. This is our group in December of 2019 at Abu Simbel. You had one, when you worry about your safety, you can be sure that with Ramin there, she will have a guide following you if you decide to go out on your own. Everything is designed for your safety. And here we have the night of dress up. We also have wonderful pictures of the group going up to the bridge and sitting beside the captain to help steer, as they say. Everyone had a fun trip. Now for 2022, you can see we have a wide range of prices, from Chile and Patagonia, Israel and Petra, Namibia, Morocco. Morocco in April is a great time. We offer a night in the desert as an upgrade in a luxurious tent you would not believe. Danny, I'd be happy to send you pictures of that tent if you would. And then our safari, that already has enough to go, enough people signed up. Berlin, one of my favorite destinations. I lived there for a year. Dresden and Prague, and a beautiful extension to Vienna. Our Italian tour goes from the heel in Puglia straight up to, it's a 15-day tour, and it goes straight up through Tuscany and into Venice. And there's a free day in almost every city. It's an extraordinary tour with a lot of culinary experiences. Then we have Nepal and Bhutan, repeating India for next year, southern India, and the backwaters. And of course, that will be if India is open. And then ancient Egypt again, and coming up in 2023, a comprehensive Asia that goes into Malaysia, Singapore, into Bali, and a trip out to see the Komodo dragons. So that wraps up for 2022. And here are a few pictures we'll go through of what you can see when you are there. Here it would be Chile, going on down to Torres del Pines, and the extraordinary glaciers there, the wildlife. All of that is inclusive. It's an all-inclusive lodge where we stay. And then we offer another bucket list destination. We offer Easter Island as an extension. You can see a video of this on our website. Israel and Petra again. Petra is often on bucket lists, and Israel will again be, if it is open. Right now it is for fully vaccinated. Namibia, the wildlife is extraordinary. There's in the sand dunes, and of course, you don't think of it, but we also stay on the coast. We have a visit to native villages and also extensions to Cape Town in South Africa.
I have to always make a comment on this picture. You don't think the sand dunes are that large until you look at this picture of these. These here are trees that are quite tall. So you can see how tall the sand dunes are in this picture.
Like a mountain.
Extraordinary.
Exactly.
Then Morocco, we offer an extension to the Blue City to and see down in the right-hand corner. Again, handicrafts. This was a place where Berbers and Jews and Christians all lived in commonality in centuries past. We go to Fez and go to souks, and there's opportunity for hammams and Turkish baths and all sorts of cooking classes if you want them. Wonderful meals. We stay many nights in riads, which are converted homes with in the Moroccan style, built around a courtyard with a fountain. They're just filled with atmosphere. I think it's an adventure that's pretty close to home. Only about 7 hours off of the East Coast to arrive in Casablanca. Kenya, what can I say? There's a new road that going into the Masamare, so a paved road that will just be finished at the end of this year, which will make it that a much pleasanter, less bumpy ride. Every part of this country gives you some new insight, some new game drive or adventure, or a lodge with a beautiful view and a beautiful pool. Again, I would recommend this trip to anyone. Then Berlin. We visit Dresden. We go down to Potsdam, which was the location. Why can't I think of that word? The location of the last meeting of the big three after World War II, when they decided the fate of how Germany would be divided. It was between Truman, Churchill, and Stalin. And a little bit of history, Churchill was defeated while he was at the conference and was replaced by Clement Attlee. So, but Potsdam also has Petersburg Castle, which is magnificent that we visit. We stopped that day for lunch on Lake Wannsee. And then when we go to Dresden, you'll see some of the marvelous renovations that have been done. There was a lot of dirt and dust and soot and black. Dresden was a nation that Germany that had collected over the decades, and that's all been cleaned out, and it's gorgeous, just a beautiful experience. And then on to Prague. Italy, as I said, Puglia with these iconic cone-shaped houses, and we stay in a hotel that looks just like that, which I think is charming. Most of the hotels on this tour are boutique properties with lovely views or some other element that makes them just a little bit different. We include the Sorrento Amalfi Coast and, of course, Rome, and then Venice. And I don't know, it's to me my favorite destination. So I can only say you can never go back too many times as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
So we pride ourselves on providing above and beyond travel experiences. Those aren't just words. We really go over with a fine-tooth comb and think, well, if we were taking this trip, wouldn't we want to go to that little bread place in Puglia where they make the bread that you can't find anyplace else in Italy? What have we missed? We know that we want free time, but we also know that we want the experiences you have to be the experiences that you'll say, oh my gosh, that was really fun. So we're travelers ourselves, And so we want you to have journeys that will last a lifetime. The memories will last a lifetime. And you'll just keep on traveling. Thank you.
Well, ladies, thank you very much for this presentation on opportunities for travel for a significant part of the CARP demographic of society, solo women travelers. And I hope that through, promotion of this during the summer, that we'll get more people to become familiar with SITA World Tours, both for regular touring and, but in particular for this the purposes of this presentation, for women travel. I do have some comments that I'd like to make. I mean, going through this presentation and the pictures and your commentary has brought a lot of memories. And also comment on a couple of things that I thought were particularly important. I think the idea of having lots of contact details while traveling is very comforting. We know that that travelers do run into problems while they're away, and while it's great to be able for them to be able to contact me, sometimes we're looking at 8-hour time difference, and that can be a bit of a problem to 3 o'clock in the morning in my hometown. So it's nice to know that there are other options for contact if there are problems. The idea of independent tours with only as few as 2 travelers, I have personally experienced through clients who have had guaranteed departures with one of the big coach tours whose guarantee turned out to be not a guarantee. So same problems, if you've got flights booked, you've got all of those problems. So nice to know that it's an absolute guarantee as opposed to a guarantee. So, and nice to know that. Short stay, pre and post extensions. I do a fair number of ocean cruises and river cruises. One of the things I certainly suggest to my clients is you're probably only going to be there once. Why not take the extra couple of days and spend some time to be able to see your embarkation city and your disembarkation city as well. So nice to know that you folks offer that as well. 88 years, that gives you lots and lots of times to make really good connections in countries, to forge bonds, and to have relationships with, tour guides and that sort of thing in each country. So that's wonderful. Guides who answer honest questions. It's kind of funny. We have a duck tour in Halifax. It's one of those vehicles that can drive on land and then drive into the water. And I've been downtown when those duck tours drive by, and some of the information that they pass on about Halifax makes me cringe. They're making stuff up on the fly. So, and I know that guides, in most countries, I know particularly in Egypt, but I'm sure it's true of most countries, they're required to take education, to pass courses and that sort of thing. So they're bringing a wealth of local knowledge to the trips that they're guiding. So I'm sure that's the case with you folks as well. Age, 30 to 80, we've done a number of trips ourselves and have experienced that, where the common denominator is the interest in where you're traveling. And it doesn't matter if you're 80 or if you're 30. If you're interested in a particular area, then you have a commonality that's going to allow you to enjoy this to its fullest extent. I've had clients who said, "Oh no, I don't want to go on that river cruise. It's for old people." That's really not what it's all about. It's about the common interest. And if you're young and there's an older person there, that person can bring a lot of lifetime experience to the travel that you're both doing. So keep that in mind. Egypt, favorite trip of my life. The old Cairo Museum. I don't know if that's going to be dismantled or whatever, but I remember seeing Tutankhamun, and I'll tell you right now, don't go see that first, because the rest of it will pale in comparison to that. Leave it as a highlight near the end of your visit to the museum. I know that we made that a priority and kind of demarked our way to the spot, and was absolutely incredibly overwhelmed to the point of tears almost. And it was so outstanding that that, you know, what came after that was, wow, absolutely wonderful. Something that I did not appreciate as well as I should have if I had left Tutankhamun to the end. So those two new museums look like they're going to be absolutely fabulous, and I'd love to see those myself. Abu Simbel, expensive side trip, only 2 hours at destination, but in my opinion, well worth it. It's stunning to think that this temple was actually going to be below water when the Aswan Dam came in, and they took it apart and rebuilt it above the water level. It's definitely worth adding. Okay, cruise party. I remember that. My wife and sister all dressed up. I dressed up to the extent that I put a white towel around my head as a turban. They didn't have much for men on there, but the women sure looked great. And I recall sellers coming to the boat, and if either of you have experienced this, Egyptian sellers would row out to the boat and they'd throw their wares up, you know, 2 stories up to the top of and hope that somebody would look at them, either buy them or throw them back to them before before they left. So that was really kind of a neat experience there too. Just an incredible array of itineraries that you offered, and you actually spent a little time going over some of the more significant ones to me. Wonderful options, in my opinion. Easter Island, I have never been there, but I recall reading in the news lately that they dug up under one of the heads, and they dug down about 10 feet. There was an entire body that was there with the heads, and everybody has just thought that the heads were just, that's all they were, was heads. Now, I'm not sure if every head has a body underneath it, but that was quite amazing. Exotic Morocco, the more I see about that, the more I want to visit it. It is exotic, truly. And Casablanca and Fez and a tent in the Sahara Desert, it just sounds marvelous. Africa, been there, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Chobe River. We've been on, you know, to Cape Town, Table Mountain, absolutely fabulous. And it looks like you folks do a great job in that too. So I just want to thank you very much for bringing all of this information to anybody that views this afterwards, and anyone that's on this now. It certainly is something worth exploring, and I will certainly do my best to promote this as best I can. And as Mary said, perhaps when we return to presentations in October, we can arrange another presentation and look at a couple of other destinations as well.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you all.
I just want to take this time to thank CARP Travel, and in particular Mr. Steve Evans, who has been instrumental in keeping pace with all of the presentations, developing the travel website and updating the site with the recordings that we've been able to make. Without his help, the library of presentation videos would never be available to all of our CARP members. So thanks, Steve, and see you again in October. So again, ladies, thanks you very much for this presentation on SITA Tours. I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Have a good night, all.